I just feel like you can do whatever you want to me and I don't care.
This is nice. Did you see that? No. The Long Cane Massacre grave. It's a historical marker right over there.
We are on our way to see a new GI doctor in Georgia. And it's only 2.5 hours from my house. But we're not going on any interstates the whole way there. It's all back roads. There wasn't even an option to go any other way from the GPS. And this is the weirdest place I've ever driven through in my life. Nothing but normal. On the way back, I'll have to try to get some of the buildings we passed with this giant cement pole thing with windows and a massacre grave site. Everything looks just dilapidated, like it's a ghost town. But yet you pass a couple schools, and they look like they're open.
Oh, it's weird. I wonder if on the way back it'll give us an option of going through towns.
So we're not really sure what to expect from this new GI doctor, but he came highly recommended. My regular GI doctor has had enough of me. She doesn't know what to do and is at a loss and wants to refer me out. But yet she doesn't know who to refer me out to.
So we're just going to go pick somebody's brain.
Basically, yes. The purpose of this appointment is to go pick his brain. And hopefully he has some better suggestions as to where to send me. Or if he can handle things himself. But we're not replacing my regular GI doctor. It's just kind of
getting more insight.
Yes. Broadening my knowledge.
They don't have the time to spend on you.
Yeah.
After 15 minutes, they want you out of the room. But unfortunately, you're more than 15 minutes worth.
I mean, my regular GI...
It could go like this here. He could say, whoop, I gotta go.
Can handle my TPN and stuff and that sort of thing. But in emergencies and I don't think she'd have a problem at all if we had a new one, because she just would be happy to have someone else make decisions. And my hope is that he'll have some additional testing to tack on to my endoscopy on Friday, which I have great anxiety about because of the anesthesia. I don't want to be awake, but I don't want to get drugged either. I'd rather be fully aware and know and be in my right mind and be awake and conscious rather than getting versed and being awake but drugged.
Well, I think that's the way it's going to be. You're going to be in and out.
But endoscopies normally don't take very long. I think they're like half hour and that. I guess it depends on what they find when they get in there. It could lead to another procedure for all we know.
Yeah, but probably not the same day.
No,
You'll probably stop and...
I think this is more investigative right now. The bleed has slowed down, but I'm still bleeding every day. So as much as I would like to ignore the problem and not do the endoscopy, I feel like I need to, so we can figure out what in the world is going on.
She always has to point this thing at me.
Well, I'm just seeing if you want to say.
I'm high-strung.
Yeah, I said that she's the most high-strung person I know and that she doesn't handle her stress very well and she needs to work on it. I finally wore one of my own hats.
It looks very nice.
That isn't a reject.
What's your color?
It looks like. I don't have this listed in this color, actually. I just realized that I didn't. So that's why I wore it. I have a few of them that I made with the same yarn, but I never listed it. But I never make anything for myself. I'll take the rejects. This hats and stuff I messed up on a little bit that they aren't sellable, but they're good enough for me.
Historical marker ahead, that's it. So here we go.
We're going to see Massacre Grave. Apparently this is where where some wars were fought and people were massacred and buried. We finally made it from the middle of nowhere to a city with an actual society and buildings and people, and so we'll see how this goes. That office is not very safe, but the doctor was really nice. He wasn't pompous and arrogant like most.
Yeah, I liked him.
He is calling Dr. Afrin, his idea, not mine.
Yeah,
and then,
never even asked him
yeah.
to. Because we wanted to leave Marcel out of it.
Other than when he asked where I was diagnosed with myself, I just said Dr. Afrin, who is a specialist, and that's it. But anyways, he wants to add on some digestive enzymes to see if that'll help me start tolerating more of my feeds. But he wants to call Dr. Afrin first prior to prescribing them. So he said he would call on his lunch break tomorrow, and then he'll give us a call back with the prescription. That will also give him more time to go over my records. Where did I leave off? I can't remember. Pretty much said what we already knew, that it's a tough situation when your small bowel's a piece of crap. In more words or less, I'm being referred to Georgetown.
I don't know where that one is.
Which I don't even know where that is, honestly. That's terrible. But I'm being referred to Georgetown to have them evaluate me for a small bowel transplant. In cases where you get stuck on TPN long term, it's not ideal. So eventually it leads to transplant. And he said he'd rather have his ducks in a row. For my endoscopy on Friday, instead of doing the hydrogen breath test for the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, you can do an aspiration where they take part of the...
They don't take it. They just take the juices.
Well, they take part of the intestinal bile and then culture it. And that will determine on whether or not I should start the Xifaxan, or if I don't have a bacterial overgrowth problem and I don't need to risk starting the Xifaxan. Because the Xifaxan cannot be compounded and it's covered in red dye. And
I went the wrong way. It's
we
not
are
me to make
lost.
a U-turn. Shy, say hi to Silvino.
Hi. I love you.
Feel okay?
I just feel like you can do whatever you want to me and I don't care.
Okay, because you're getting a little pink. That's just from the giggles then?
Yeah.
Because I'm laughing.
Okay.
With the other sugar, our heart rate will increase, and
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
She
know
was
if I'm in
no-
a reaction with my heart. That's where
Will
I
they have her
come
hooked up to any monitors?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to be hooked up to a heart monitor, breathing monitor, and then blood pressure, of course. Okay. Hey, we're going. Are you okay? We go?
Yeah.
You got everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's ready.
Okay. All right.
You're right. I love you, baby girl.
I'm alive and I'm a lightweight.
no Versed for you, or more Versed for you.
Does it feel good to be home? Poor baby girl.
Mom was so worried down there. She's getting nauseous.
Well, everything looked good.
It's from the feeding tube. The balloon. He says it's too tight and it's blocking the floors. And you didn't have a seizure with the fentanyl, so that's wonderful.
Yeah, because they administered it
Different.
right this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave her something.
We didn't know if we were going to have to cancel this today because when I got in, the anesthesiologist was all ready to give me some propofol. Even though we had set this up in advance to not do propofol. But they worked it out and gave me
Are they here?
No, no. Don't you want her in the...
Yeah.
Versed and
See this, but
fentanyl.
it never did it.
I'm home now from my procedure. I took a long nap as soon as I got home because I was very dizzy and nauseous. I did not have any significant reactions from the fentanyl and Versed. I was very itchy. Fentanyl does that to me, but it did not send me into seizures again since it was administered correctly. If you remember last time when I was in the ICU, the nurse did not administer my fentanyl with a carrier. So whenever they would go push another med, it would send almost like a bolus of fentanyl into my system, and I would start seizing from that. That was not the case this time, thankfully. They were able to find the source of the bleed. However, it was already healing, which we knew because it was slowing down a lot. So they did not have to intervene there. The bleed was near the balloon of my GJ tube. The plastic has caused irritation rubbing up against my abdominal wall. And the balloon's a little wonky, so it's puffed out more on one side than the other, which it isn't sitting correctly. And it created the little ulcerated, irritated area. My tube is very far down in my stomach, and the balloon was also so inflated that it was blocking my pylorus while I was in that particular angle. The GI doctor took water out of my balloon that holds the tube in. Now it is very, very, very loose. But I have to have a tube change. They put that in the notes, but nothing is on the books for IR yet because of the holidays. That is about it. I was so high from the Versed. They gave me a test dose prior to bringing me back because the last time I had Versed in 2015, I was 18 years old. They were supposed to have preservative-free Versed, number one. And number two, it was supposed to be diluted and ran slowly. The anesthesiologist, I assume, grabbed the regular version, and rather than diluting it and pushing it slowly, he pushed it very quickly straight up. And upon doing that, I turned red from head to toe. I was like locked in. I couldn't speak. My pulse was over 160. The surgeon was very mad. He's like, why didn't you listen? Now I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go do what I need to do. So we did the test dose prior to taking me back, and that went perfectly. Did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I was high as a kite. And when I got back to the area where they do the endoscopy, the GI doctor was sitting there. And I'm like, hi doctor, I'm high. And I'm like, I don't care about anything. And apparently they were asking me questions and back there about my blog or something. And I was answering them. That's what the anesthesia nurse told my mother when they were giving my parents an update. Hopefully I didn't say anything too embarrassing about anything else because I don't remember that part. They gave me 200 mics of fentanyl. I'm supposed to have, I think, 25 in 30 minutes, but I got 200 in an hour. So I'm not a lightweight there, but with everything else I seem to be. I'm on oxygen because I was not holding my O2 when I receive anesthesia the last couple of times now. It's almost like my chest wall is too heavy to breathe. And my oxygen was at 90. It's been improving the longer I go without the drugs in my system, but it just triggers something in me. I don't even know. It's not mast cell because I'm not like swollen or anything in my throat. It's just, I don't know. And my arms and legs feel like noodles. It's just all my muscles go strange. They attribute that to my muscle disorder. It's not something that used to happen to me, but now as I'm older, it does. Hopefully tomorrow things go well. We stress dose my steroids before the procedure to ensure I wouldn't have problems from an adrenal standpoint and to give me a little extra help from a mast cell standpoint. And I will have the rest of my results from the endoscopy, the SIBO aspirate, and I think he took biopsies. I don't know. Like I said, I was too high to care about anything, but those should be back in a couple weeks.